found over the years that living in and out of shelters, like not these shelters, but like the shelters around the community, unfortunately exposes you to a lot of things that make life become more and more difficult. Having this emergency shelter for myself has given me access to those resources that I need and still have something of my own to go to, which is what makes me feel so blessed to have it, because at the end of the day I don't have to worry about what the next person around me is doing, where my stuff's at, how, if I'm going to be able to come home and do the things I need to do, because other people are just preventing you from doing those things. It helps so that I don't get exposed back into drug habits, and it's just been an honor and a blessing to be able to have one of these. It keeps me warm at night. That's been the biggest help, because over the years I've slept outside on many occasions. I remember back, I think it was 4 years ago, I was actually stuck outside for one entire winter, sleeping underneath the overpass on Barrington Street in a wheelchair at the time. And it's been very hard over the years, but to finally have a place that I can go inside at night, keep my belongings stored safe, that's been the biggest help out of anything. Just really a place to call my own. It is a Band-Aid solution. We can only do this for so long. Unfortunately, we don't have access to a kitchen. We don't have access to running water, which is the parts that do make this a little more difficult in some situations. But the independence that it gives you definitely brings a help. But the city needs to step in and take their role as the city and step in and help these people that need it, because at the end of the day, there's only so much time that people have to be able to take out of their day to be able to run down to a shelter. Like when I first originally took up on this, I was working full time, and that made it nearly impossible to be able to cook, to be able to have a real meal, to shower, and those are the hardships of it. But that's where it's the city's responsibility to step in and be like, you know what? At the moment, I believe we have a 1% housing availability. And if you look at the prices of what's available, there is nothing affordable. Absolutely nothing. I had a good job, I was making a good wage, and I still couldn't afford it. When I first got into the shelter, I was working at a full-time position with GFL Green for Life Environmental on the back of a garbage truck. I've been doing it for a couple years before that for RE Group. I was a trainer there before I had a bit of a downfall in my life. It's hard. There's no other way to explain it, to be able to get up every day, and that's why I needed to get out of the shelters. It was starting, the environment around me was starting to make it impossible for me to be able to go to work. And it wasn't so much that I want to give into it, but when you've been in and out of these environments for so long, so many times, it's easy to give into it. And this has given me independence to have my own place. I come home, I've been clean now for a little while. It's definitely been a huge help. That was one of the biggest reasons I'm no longer with RE Group, is because my life spiraled down, and I was going in and out of shelters at the time and just allowed myself to get too involved with that lifestyle. Unfortunately, if the city took the time to actually look at the individual needs of people, which they do attempt, but they need to put more people out to do it. I'm not going to sit here and act as if there's no advocacy on their part, but there is very little. And unfortunately, that's something that needs to be looked at. Well, the biggest issue with me getting to work was just being able to get up and get myself ready for it too, right? It's very hard out of shelters. I actually, believe it or not, found it much easier even without the running water and the ability to cook. Much easier to do it in and out of this because you have that independence to be able to wake up on your own freedom. Um, I've been in and out of them for years, and unfortunately, if the city doesn't do something soon, it's probably going to continue that way because I believe I heard not too long ago they're trying to bring another 1,000,000 people into our province, which is just 1% housing and 1,000,000 people, and we only have I think it's 300,000 now. I think something's wrong about that math, but it's been hard over the years, especially I had to give, there'd been many reasons I had to give up working for a little while. And a lot of it had to do especially with my leg. I wasn't saying much to anybody, but the reason I've been staying away for a few weeks now is just because back a few years ago, like I said, I'd been in a major bus accident and it started to take a real toll on my leg. So unfortunately now I'm no longer working, so it's making it even harder to find affordable housing. But off the generosity of people, I've been at least getting by, so I hope the city will step up and put a few more people out to help with the situation at hand.